Drew Petzing is who we thought he was, and we let him off the hook. Who takes the third game of the season as bullshit?
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
It's Southwest Bias, brought to you by our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, and we are live from Studio K. You see the sign above me. Brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Become a member of the Inner Circle today by downloading their app for free. Drew Petzing needs to be done. That was the most abysmal offensive performance I think I have ever seen from a team that has enough offensive weapons to actually play well. We've seen plenty of bad Cardinals offenses over the years. There is no doubt about that. But we've seen few this talented that have failed so miserably through 3 games. This team is averaging 17.6 points per game from their offense. 17.6. That's not going to get it done in today's NFL. And on top of it, they haven't had a 300-yard offense yet. Totality. I'm not just talking about Kyler Murray passing. And this was supposed to be some of the bottom feeders of the league, the Saints, the Panthers, a depleted 49ers team who even was without Bosa after an injury in this game. We said it last week that Drew Petzing had to evolve and adjust coming into this week to prove that his offense is capable of actually playing. That his offense is capable of helping carry this team. Because you can't put as much as you were putting on this defense in the first 2 weeks. Well, guess what? They put even more on the defense and harder expectations on the defense. They scored 13 points as an offense. They had the ball for 20 minutes in the first half and walked away with 3 points. They targeted running backs and tight ends more than they targeted wide receivers in that first half. It was a miserable first half of football, and by the time they came out in the second half and they attempted to pass, it wasn't working. Oh, and then you lost James Conner for the entire season. So guess what? Your run-first offense now doesn't have the guy that actually was the heart and the engine of that. Trey Benson can't be that guy, at least not in the way James Conner was. So what are you going to do? I think Thursday night's the last stand. If this were a full week, I think the noise to fire Drew Petzing right now or remove his play calling would be louder than it is. But we all realize in just a matter of days, 4 days from now, at State Farm Stadium, the Seattle Seahawks are going to come into town for a Thursday night football game. And any move that you were going to try to make could not happen between now and then. There's not enough time to prep. But guess what? You're going to have a whole 10 days after this Thursday night game. If you look anything like the first 3 weeks, a change is needed. A change must happen. I don't care if Jonathan Gannon's playing the good coach and saying, I don't mind the play calling, it's on me. We have to get better. That's what a leader does. A leader hands the praise to everybody else and takes the blame on themselves. So Jonathan Gannon's just doing what he's supposed to do, and airing out his frustration in the media wouldn't make any sense. This team is in trouble. They're 2-1, likely going to be 2-2 after facing the Seahawks, who have been playing very well. This offense has lost itself in a million different ways. You've got receivers now, apparently, that have the yips. Marvin Harrison Jr. is so in his head right now that he can't catch the ball. He can't. I mean, we saw it. He mistimed his jump, couldn't catch the ball, cost the team. The best plays in this offense for 2 straight weeks have been pass interference calls. It's what's gotten you the most yardage through the air is 2 pass interference calls in the end zone. This isn't sustainable. The running game, even with James Conner yesterday, Conner had 9 runs. 6 of them were 1-yard runs. 1 was for 0 yards. Trey Benson's 29-yarder was the biggest run of the day, and outside of that, they had 9 carries for 13 yards he did. You're not a run-first team either. You're a 0 offense team. Trey McBride bailed you out in the red zone by getting that touchdown after the pass interference call. Your defense did every last thing it could. We all did group projects in school. The Arizona Cardinals offense is that kid that just sits there and mooches off everybody else. Doesn't add much of anything to the group project. And then the defense is the overachiever who winds up taking on everything for the project just so you can get a passing grade. They won the turnover battle. Freaking Calais Campbell turned into one of the best pass rushers in the NFL this week at 38 years old. Let me put this in perspective. He and I were in high school at the same time. Let that sink in. And Calais Campbell's out there busting his ass to try to give you a win. Getting that holding call in the end zone so they got the safety. Giving you a 2-point lead. You can't keep putting the defense in the position that you have the first 2 weeks, the first 3 weeks, to go out there and save your ass. You need to put points on the board. And this offense has not proven over multiple years that they are capable of doing that under Drew Petzing. And I am all for loyalty. I am all for giving a guy an opportunity to fix things. But guess what? You doubled down. You kept him. You kept the entire offense. And you're worse this year than you were last. At some point, you have to decide that the problem starts with the play calling. Sure, could Zay Jones have made a catch that solidified that game? Yeah. Could DeMarcado have done that earlier in the game? Yeah. Still wouldn't have made that a good offensive performance. Barely would have made it a passable offensive performance. Zay Jones catches that ball, you walk out with the win, and you're sitting there, a 2-point win because your defense got a safety. You're not feeling any better. You just got the Band-Aid that you had like after the first 2 weeks where you'd be sitting there going, well, you're 3-0. What are you complaining about? I'm complaining about an offense that can't figure itself out. An offense that looks like it's being run by a middle school flag football coach right now. We have seen bad offenses in Arizona. We've suffered through terrible play in Arizona. But usually it's because it's a complete lack of talent. And that's not the case here right now. It's time for Drew Petzing to show it or go on Thursday night. This offense has to look otherworldly against the Seahawks, or Drew Petzing shouldn't be a part of the coaching staff come Friday. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. Shane, we welcome in the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. How frustrating was that of an offensive output or a lack thereof for you watching that yesterday?
By far the worst type of football game. Like when divisional games are always gross, but games where there's a lot of time of possession and just nothing is happening is so frustrating. And most of it was because of that receiving core, obviously. And I thought Kyler was good. I mean, he wasn't great, but he was really good. He did enough to win that game, to deserve to win that game. But the thing that hurts the most is this is a division rival that you're going to play again later this year, who's going to look like a real football team. Mm-hmm. They didn't look like a real football team on Sunday. They were down to McCorkle-Jones. They were down Jawan Jennings. They were down
Brock Purdy.
They were that's why I said they were down to McCorkle-Jones. They were down multiple players on both sides of the ball in the trenches. Like this is a team that is not going to look anything like what it's going to look like when you play them next. You had to seize that opportunity, and there's a reason why that was the worst 2-0 start you could have imagined. It's because of what's happening right now, and it's evident that it's going to translate to losses in the future if nothing changes.
Do we have that video of Marvin Harrison Jr. after the game from our friends over at 12 Sports? Let's take a look at that, Shane.
It's a lot of emotion. Just disappointed, really. I know what I put into the game, so it doesn't feel the best.
It seems like you might be harder on yourself than others might be. Do you feel like that's fair, or is it the opposite? It seems like you're taking this a little tough as well.
Everybody got a job to do. I'm not doing my job at a high enough level at the moment.
What level are you trying to achieve? Is it 100% completions? Is there a number? Is there anything you're looking for out of yourself specifically?
I think I know what I'm capable of, and to go out there and not play to, nowhere near the best of my abilities. It's frustrating. It hurts your team, and I got to get better.
I know your teammates have talked about kind of moving on to the next play, that mental obstacle. How do you expect to do that in a short week with the Seahawks coming to town as well?
Yeah, go back, watch the film, learn from it, get better, maybe play on Thursday. So start preparing Tuesday, got off tomorrow.
What's your process of getting reset, man?
Like I said, go back, watch the film, stick to my routine, and
When you lose an emotional leader like James, what does that do for your locker room? And it seemed like you guys responded with some explosives after that as well.
Yeah, it's tough. I know how much JC puts into the game. He's the leader, really, of our offense, and to lose him, it definitely hurt us. And, I send him nothing but prayers, man. I know how much I respect him and just what he does day in and day out. So it's very unfortunate. And at the game that we play and just knowing those risks, you hate to see it happen to a guy like him, though.
Oh, no, our Marv's broken. Drew Petzing has broken Marvin Harrison Jr. I think the dude has the yips. That's what it looks like out on the field right now. He's obviously down on himself emotionally. This offense is down on itself completely. And I think you can get in your own head when things are going as poorly as this offense is, when you're not getting targets, when you're seeing time and time again that you're not getting opportunities. You don't think that that's impacting these guys? You don't think the fact that, the fourth pass that's gone Zay Jones's way this season, that doesn't impact a guy? Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. has to step up and he has to make some of those plays. There's no doubt about it. But man, is this offensive play calling started to impact even the players in terms of their mentals there. I feel for the guy. I mean, yesterday alone, he had I think it was 13.7% of all the drops Larry Fitzgerald had in his career. Now, that's not fair. Larry was otherworldly and hardly had any drops. He had more tackles than drops in his career, but that's the pressure on this kid. Everybody expects him to be the next great wide receiver. And he's found himself in an offense that can't even get him the ball. Larry Fitzgerald had some crap quarterbacks throwing to him, but at least they were throwing to him. I think this is going to get worse before it gets better, and I think Thursday night is where it gets worse. I hope Drew Petzing has something magical up his sleeves, because you can't have your top offensive weapons starting to lose their edge because of what's going on. Some good news, a couple good things that happened over the weekend and today, if you want to hear about it. Matt Ishbia hopped on Twitter and said something that I think every Suns fan can be happy about. Steve Nash back as a senior advisor for the Phoenix Suns officially. Now, I've heard this doesn't mean he won't be on Amazon Prime's coverage in the pre-halftime and post-game. That'd still be there. But this is an advisory role that Steve Nash will be a part of. And I love that the Suns are embracing the history of this team. For a decade plus, they tried to shove everything historical in a closet and ignore it. I know, because I was there. They almost threw me in there as well because I love the history of the sun so much. Even they tried to get rid of purple. Embracing the past and the history is going to be important for this franchise to set a brighter future. I'm glad Steve Nash is going to be a part of it. And speaking about a brighter future, the Arizona Diamondbacks are still right in the race for the third wild card spot in the NL because the Mets, yes, in fact, did crap the bed. Ding, they did it again. Now, the Reds are tied with them now. The Diamondbacks sit one game back. But Corbin Carroll is having one hell of a year that I think was kind of missed because of how bad things had turned for part of this season. Corbin Carroll is now the first Diamondback in history to be part of the 30-30 club, 30 stolen bases, 30 home runs, and he becomes only the second player in MLB history to record 30-plus home runs, 30 stolen bases, 30 doubles, 15 triples in a season. It's him and Jimmy Rollins, and Carroll joins one of MLB's rarest clubs at the age of 24. Corbin Carroll, a tip of the hat, or a Brandon Bills hat, by the way, because you've done unbelievable and you're a big reason why the Diamondbacks are still in the race. If you're here for football talk, don't you worry. On the other side, I bring in Bo Brack, and we find out, is he still okay with the offense, or is it time for a change after this? Telling you about my friends at Circle K. I stopped there this morning. You know it. I got a little fuel for myself, and I'll be stopping there. I believe it's Thursday for their 40 cents off gas because my car's going to need some fuel too. But the only way you're going to take advantage of that is if you become a member of the Inner Circle. I'm getting tired of if you have not become a member of the Inner Circle, what do I have to do? Come over and download the app for you and help you put in your information? I'm willing to do it because that's how much I believe in becoming an Inner Circle member. It's one of the rare clubs that I'm okay with being part of, even though they accepted me. 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, then 3 cents per gallon after that, and then 5 cents when you hit the SPO level. 5 cents off per gallon. Plus, you get great deals. Like I just found out I got an extra 10 cents off per gallon simply for buying my Coke Zero there today. And then they got these great deals like the 40 cents off Fuels Days. So become a member of the Inner Circle today for free by downloading that Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. And weather's getting a little cooler, right? You're going to want to go out and sit on your patio finally because it's not going to feel like a damn oven out there. Well, our friends at All Pro Shade Concepts want to make it a little nicer to sit out on your patio. They want to get you the shade that you need to make that the greatest place to have people out there over in your backyard. Or in my case, they got me a great roll down shade, one of those ones with the motor. I just got a button that comes down. It's kind of like the roof at Chase Field. Beautiful. Shades my home, keeps my kitchen like cooler than it was. Like it was used to be sweltering, not so much anymore. Unbelievable material. They come out, they'll show you everything. You'll get to pick what you want. It'll match your house. It is everything that you want, and their customer service is second to none. Could not talk any better about it. They were voted number one by Ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024. They have an A+ BBB rating and over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. So get your free estimate today. Call 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com now to schedule your free estimate. We're welcoming Bo Brack. I mean, it's not as if you didn't see him enough yesterday, but I needed somebody to call in and talk with me today about Drew Petzing because I'm ready to go pack the suitcase for him or at least take the play sheet away from him and let somebody else make the calls on Thursday. Did it feel that bad for you yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is somebody that I think I get my defense of Drew Petzing, the offense, it's overblown. It's because I'm going against everybody that wants to burn it to the ground and wanted him out of here at the end of the last season. I understand that. But, I was looking at those first 2 games, and these were Cardinals teams that were playing with the lead 70% of the time. You're not going to get into a true passing attack offense there. But what I saw in the first half, Espo, yesterday, it was just it was a broken offense. And it continued throughout the entirety of the game. And you saw an offense that is really trying to pick up the pieces now on the fly on a short week. just wasn't there. I mean, you look at Kyler Murray, his yards per attempt, 20 pass attempts in the first half, 4 yards per attempt. It's just not getting it done. It became a bit of a parody of itself where he's targeting Tip Ryman more times than Marvin Harrison Jr. It's just tight ends, it's backs, and it's really does not tap into where you think they've got a strength as far as the wide receivers go.
Steve Holler, one of the biased in the chat, said Bo was never Scattaboo too. Is Bo a Manchurian candidate? Scattabro, sorry. Is he a Manchurian candidate? I'm not going to put that on you, Bo.
The foresight that all those people, all the scat truthers out there had to draft a third running back, at times fourth running back, it really would have paid off if they knew that James Conner's leg was going to snap like it did yesterday.
They did. They knew.
Yeah.
They knew it was coming.
To all them. It's a good day for them. They were right.
Bo, I need to know, what was worse, the play calling or Johnny's attempt to chug a 12-ounce beer?
I think that was maybe the one kind of silver lining, I guess, from yesterday. Is it can get worse, and it did at the end of our broadcast with Johnny's attempt. He's now 0 for 3. I can't say, just like this offense in 3 attempts, 3 years now, it hasn't gotten better. It's arguably gotten worse. So yeah, he's in a tough spot. And Espo, bad news for PHNX Sports going forward. He's saying he'll do that even more going forward if we can continue to up our subscriber count.
We are going to time how long it took him to do that and see how many I can chug in that amount of time. I think Friday on the program.
Not good for your health. That's not good for your health at all.
I didn't say beer. I'll chug something. By the way, if you are a member of the Supporters Club, those of you, the biased in the chat, drop that Johnny Chug emoji right now, since we're giving him a hard time. When you look at this club going into Thursday's matchup against Seattle, is there anything you could take away from these first 3 weeks that give you hope that we're not going to see a repeat of what we saw on Sunday?
It'd be pretty loosely based on and kind of more into the hopium going, like you're just taking a leap of faith that, the personnel on offense can maybe dictate change. But as far as the play callings go, no, there's just not a whole lot of hope right now. I mean, I guess when you look back, Espo, to last year, how the defense was playing at this time, the first 4 games were atrocious, and Nick Rollis was able to kind of steady the ship there and got the defense, trending in the right direction. By week 7 from then on, they've been one of the better defenses in the league, but there's always more confidence in that play caller on that side of the football. I don't think Drew Petzing has inspired, or gotten that much, benefit of the doubt that he's going to be able to turn around. But if you look at the personnel, I think the personnel is in place from the offensive line to even the playmakers without James Conner going forward. There should be enough infrastructure there from a personnel standpoint to get it done. But can they get the right plays on track? Because this is a team that, they're holding on to the football. They're not making careless mistakes as far as like turnover differential ratio. They're in top 5 in the league. They're in top 10 as far as time of possession. They're holding on to it. They're maintaining drives, but they're just not getting chunk plays and they're not scoring points. Can they execute higher when it matters more? Can they push the ball downfield? It's something we just haven't seen yet. We haven't seen it for far too long.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If pass interference is your best passing play, you got problems. And I don't want to be overly dramatic, but I feel like come Thursday, the season's hanging in the balance a little bit, because if you fall to 2-2, the offense doesn't find any rhythm. You're now 0-2 in the division. It starts to pile up, and that back half of the schedule that you hoped you had, some padding going into now becomes critical for your ability to win. I feel like so much is hanging in the balance on national television on Thursday, and we've seen no ability from the offense to adapt. And it just doesn't feel fair to keep asking your defense to bail you out.
It'd be a microcosm of the problems, right? Is, you dig yourself in a hole, and what do you have to do to get out of that? You got to play good on the offensive side of the football, be able to get chunk plays, be able to scratch and claw away, chip away by scoring points. And they haven't shown the ability to do that. Like, I'm not going to say Thursday is a must win. You could very well drop to 2-2, beat the Titans the following week and be 3-2. But what do we know so far about this team under Gannon, under Petzing, under Rollis is they struggle against 500 teams or better. Like, they're 2-9, I think, in their last 11 contests against teams that were over 500. It's just not getting it done there against, good teams. So as far as measuring sticks go, they're falling tremendously short as far as those games go. So if you want to kind of project it out, and you very well could, it doesn't look good. It does not set them up for success in the future, no matter how much they can beat up on the AFC and NFC South.
If you're in the chat, hit that like button right now. I want to shift to the defensive side of the ball. I feel unbelievably optimistic about what we've seen. We've been told that Nick Rollis, Jonathan Gannon are savants when it comes to the defensive side of the football. We saw them do more with less over the last 2 years. They now have the horses that we wanted them to have on the defensive side of the ball, and it's paying off. How impressed have you been with what you've seen on the defense?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they're playing and leaning into their strength, right? You knew Jonathan Gannon after leading that Philadelphia Eagles to the 2022 Super Bowl, where they've got 70 sacks, close to 20 interceptions. They're suffocating, and he brought that to the desert. And finally, with good coaching, they upgraded the personnel, and you're seeing that the rewards pay off. But you're not seeing that on the offensive side of the football. And then with that issue, it's kind of leaning into a cliche. Some of the knocks that you get when you bring on a defensive-minded head coach, you don't want that for Jonathan Gannon. He's more of a CEO type. He's got his hands in every facet of this organization. It's just like his strength is defense. Nick Rollis is a young prodigy, future head coach. Now you got to figure out, like, what do you have to do as a master delegator to get the offense going? Who do you entrust? Who do you empower? Who do you embolden to get this thing on the right track? Because it's been just kind of a little bit off, and then in a huge opportunity to go get a big win on the road against the division rival, you fall tremendously short.
Could you be any more impressed with Calais Campbell? I know that's a leading question, but I think it's pretty obvious we're all fairly impressed with a guy that is in our age bracket doing what he's doing.
How dare you? But no, you're exactly right. No, I mean, Calais Campbell, 39 years old. The most impressive thing to me, Espo, is this isn't Calais Campbell coming out in the first series of the game and getting a sack and then just kind of being quiet the rest of the game. He made a huge play in the 59th minute last week, and then he made a big play. It was a go-ahead score for the Cardinals in the safety, in the final, 5 minutes of that game yesterday. So at 39 years old, being able to still have enough left in the tank that late in the game, that's what's most impressive.
So let's talk about it. James Conner is no longer going to be playing this season with the ankle injury. Who takes over the offense? Is this now the Trey Benson show? Is this Kyler and Marv have to figure it out? Where do you turn at this point where you don't have your bell cow anymore?
Yeah, you don't have your crutch, right? And James Conner was like the master of the dirty yards. Like, he would go in there and it looked like he'd be stopped up at the line of scrimmage or behind it. He would be able to turn into a 1, 2, 3, maybe even a bigger yard gain than that. He was a guy that was able to get yards after contact. Can Trey Benson prove to be that guy? So early on, like, he's showing that. The analytics show that. Like, Trey Benson, he looks like he's taking a step forward in his second season. Is he ready to kind of carry the load positionally as far as that group goes, Espo? There's probably not one on the team that could face adversity injuries more so than the running back room. They'll probably get Michael Carter on the active roster, but with Trey Benson being so green, I think, and not as established as James Conner, you have to turn to the Kyler Murray in this passing attack. No longer have the crutch of this rushing game that's been there the last 2 years and has been slow to kind of materialize here in year 3. You need Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride to carry the load that's left by James Conner.
He is Bo Brack, a man who's falling out of love with Drew Petzing, but still somehow tolerates Johnny Venerable. You can follow him on Twitter at Bo Brack, and you can find him today at 4:30 on PHNX Cardinals. Bo, thanks so much.
Thanks, Espo.
That is another edition of Southwest Bias in the books. A big thanks to the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. You can follow him at Shane Dief. You can follow the show at PHNX_sports, and you can follow me at Espo. And remember, you have no running back, you have no offense. How the hell are you going to win on Thursday? Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.